Good morning, everyone. We are going to be doing a walk on Fort Hamilton Parkway today. We are going to start on 41st Street and make our way down a pretty long length of this avenue in Brooklyn. We are in the Borough Park section. You are looking at St. Catherine's Cathedral on 41st and Fort Hamilton. That is a church that I had my communion when I was a little person. Let me move the camera down. That would be good. All right. So we are on our way. So today I am not using the wireless mic, so you may hear some wind going through the mic ports on the camera. I'm going to forego the wireless for now. This is how I used to do it in the beginning. For many years, well, I guess for many months, I did not use a wireless mic. The only reason I used the wireless mic was to cut down on the wind. So if you hear any winds in the mic today, I apologize, but that's the way we're going. My wireless mic has been having some strange issues as of late. I think it's dying. It doesn't charge up to 100%, and then it just decides to cut out every once in a while. So maybe it just needs a vacation, so we're going to leave it alone for a while. This is the old funeral home that used to be in service for many years. It's been run down and closed, obviously. They'll probably tear it down and put another big building. And I forgot to mention, we passed by that spot right there. That's where the White Castle used to be. There used to be a White Castle there. This is PS 131. I went here for grades 5 and 6. I was in PS 169 for grades kindergarten through 4, and then I was down here for grades 5 and 6. Sounds like you got a train coming in. This is Fort Hamilton. Well, no, this is New Utrecht Avenue. I was going to say this is Fort Hamilton Parkway train station above us. So this was a walk I did not plan on doing this. I'll kind of tell you what happened in a second and get past these people. So I'm always changing things last minute. If something happens, something comes up. Originally, what I wanted to do was go down to Manhattan Beach today. But there were some train problems on the other side of the track. And since there was a train coming in for the Manhattan side, I just jumped on it and sat down on the train and said, Well, where am I going to walk now? So we pulled into Fort Hamilton and I got off. See a little inside production news. Now, we've walked Fort Hamilton Parkway before. We walked, I can't remember when it was. It was maybe early the year, maybe early spring, maybe, I don't know, but could have been last year. Time is a blur for me, but we had walked the complete distance. We had walked all the way from the Verrazano Bridge, from John Paul Jones Park, and we walked all the way down till you hit the Burger King over there, over by the cemetery, Greenwood Cemetery. So we've done the full distance of this before. Today we're not going to do that though. We're gonna, man, these cars are really moving slow. Today we're gonna just maybe stop at 86th Street. This is Maimonides Hospital. This is where I was born. This is where a lot of people were born. See, I got that cross bridge up there. You see a person's actually walking through it up there, between the buildings. You can see all of the ambulances lined up here. They do have a very busy and very well-used, well-kept emergency room here. There's the emergency room. I would say this is one of the better hospitals in New York City. I couldn't really give you any more of a review than that, since I really, if I go to a hospital, I go to the VA, which is just 5 minutes from where I live. The UPS truck sounds like it's counting down to blow up. Alright, so we started on 41st Street. We are made our way down to 50th. We will be in the neighborhoods of Borough Park, which is where we are right now. And then when we get into over by, we get past like 68th Street, 65th Street, there's always a debate of whether or not that stretch from 68th Street down to John Paul Jones Park is entirely Bay Ridge. We know that, once you get past 7th Avenue, where 7th Avenue crosses, and you get to 86th Street, that's definitely Bay Ridge. But there's a little gray area. where people will either say they're in Bay Ridge or Ziker Heights. So I'll leave that. I'm not gonna debate that. We're gonna cross over because we start to get into a pretty busy area. And we want to be, I guess we want to be on the side where there's more action happening. Keeps you more engaged, I guess. So if you've noticed, today is a very damp day. Pretty damp, misty at times. We had rain last night for a while. It was light. But tonight we're supposed to have a pretty big storm system move in. And tomorrow, Wednesday, the storm is supposed to be from between 12 and 6, supposed to be the strongest part of the storm, and they're talking about 70-mile-an-hour winds. So sounds like your typical nor'easter. It's going to drop a lot of rain, no snow. But they have put up a lot of winds warnings and a lot of flood warnings, so they're sure that this is going to be a pretty big storm coming in. Looks like something happened over here. By the way, over there is the Monastery of Precious Blood. It's a very big church, as you can see. It is very big. Give you guys another look of it. You see how big that church is. So I hope everyone's enjoying my Christmas features. Doing it a little differently this year. Kind of gives me a break, because to do those homes, I just come out of my house and I walk around, and I'll stop at another one, record it, feature it, talk about it, and go on to the next one. Sometimes I'll record 2 or 3 in a night. It only takes me about maybe 20 minutes. Last night it was raining, so it was nice because not many people come when it rains. So I was able to, record a couple of homes without a whole bunch of people in front of me. It was very quiet. If anyone is thinking of coming to see the Ziker Heights Christmas lights on Wednesday, I would advise against it. There's going to be some pretty intense winds and rain. I know that some homes will tend to keep their lights off in very stormy weather. I've seen it in the neighborhood, because they realize no one's going to be coming around looking, so they're not going to have lights on, wasting electricity. Some of those houses have to pay upwards of $3,000 to $5,000 alone in the month of December to keep those lights on. So they do not get discounts and they do not get free electricity. So that's where our firefighters were. Probably doing some inspections. All right, so we are making our way to the area that kind of splits out and becomes 10th Avenue. It's like a little park area over here. What we'll do is we'll come back onto Fort Hamilton Parkway. I'll show you the park, the little park area, and then we'll get right back onto Fort Hamilton Parkway. It's not really a long distance. You got the Ramirez tire shop over here. Popular tire shop in this spot. How am I going to cross? Let's go, I guess I'll go this way. A little tight cross. This is the park I was telling you about. Now in the summertime, they'll have a lot of people playing cards and stuff for money in this spot. I don't know if they got rid of that. You can see right here, it says no gambling. So it's possible that they cleaned it up down here. But this was a spot right here where we're walking. This whole strip of sidewalk was just all tables and chairs, people playing poker and stuff. Probably have to come back here during the summer and see if it's going on still. I think in the walk I did, the last walk we did down here, I think there were people down here. I'm not sure, I can't remember. This is where 10th Avenue starts up. We're walking by it right now. There's a very busy fruit and vegetable market here. And this is 59th to 60th Street. 59th Street is behind me and 68th Street is the next block. are crossing over the tracks of the N line. This is the Fort Hamilton Parkway station on the N line. See it in a second here as I cross this wall. There it is right there. This is where you can get on a train for the N train, for the N line. We are no longer in Borough Park, so take your pick, Dyker Heights or Bay Ridge. We will be passing by the church over by McKinley Park. And further down, we're going to get into an area over by I-278 where we got to kind of cross next to it or over it. It kind of gets very busy over there as far as traffic. I never like it over there. The traffic over there is dangerous. We're going to get back across the street. See some more busybody stuff. Looks like you got looks like a hardware place here. Supply place, hardware and supplies. Or maybe it could be, I don't know what that is, what that stuff is. Food. This looks like restaurant, warehouse supplies. Wheat, rice. I'm reading what I see off the bags. Flour. There you go. I'm going to get hit by one of these. I always almost get hit by one of these all the time. I don't get along with those things. They always find a way of trying to run me over, man. It's the one thing, I mean, when you're growing up in New York City your whole life, and you have to deal with traffic and crossing streets and jaywalking and all that, I've never been hit by a car. I've never even gotten close to getting hit by a car. But those, I just find myself always in a position where I'm almost getting hit by those things. They come out of nowhere, man. Even with the beeping warning, I just, doesn't matter. So 3 guys from Brooklyn. This is a popular chain. Sells fruits, vegetables, groceries. Take a look here and just see what they have. My jacket matches the lemons and the bananas. I have a yellow jacket on today. $1.29 for a watermelon. $1.29 for a pound. I guess that's, I don't know, how much does one watermelon weigh? Never thought of that. This right here is Ericson Park. It is a greenway that you can pretty much traverse all the way up down to about 3rd Avenue. Actually, you can go past that. Kind of gets crazy once you get up by 3rd Avenue. It turns into like these little trails that are along the side of the highway. So we are on 67th Street. This is the old Fortway Theater. This whole building complex. I remember lining up against this wall to watch movies when they were popular movies playing in the theater. Sometimes in the summer heat and the sun is coming down on you. Just to get into the theater, which was right over here. You can see the theater still has it's the same building. Still, you could tell it looks like a theater. Just like Marshall's on 86th Street. This is where they would obviously hang the titles for the names of the movies. We're going to get back across Fort Hamilton Parkway. Nice little Christmas tree. Gonna put that up on a coffee table. This is Bay Ridge Avenue, 69th Street. It is still chilly out. It's not, it doesn't, you know, it's not winter weather. I'm wearing just a hoodie. It's about 50 degrees. Most of the wind is on my back, so it works out since I don't have the wireless mic with me. I don't like when I get winds inside the microphones. Every time I pass this pizza place, I say the same thing. I gotta try it. I've never had pizza here. Walked by it a zillion times. Maria Pizza. It looks like one of those old school pizzeria joints you hang out in front of after school, right? Looks like we got another Popeyes over here. We had a Popeyes back there we passed. Alright, we are getting over by the park area. And we're getting close to the area of the interstate that we're going to have to walk along and cross. This is McKinley Park right here. We used to call this Sunset Park Jr. It's very much like Sunset Park. It's got a high point in it, but it's only a 1 square block park. Maybe 2 square blocks down and 1 over. If I'm remembering right down here. It goes down 2 blocks. Or is it 1 block? I'm looking down there, I'm trying to see. Yeah, 1 block, pretty much. I mean, it's a big park though. And then right here on my left is McKinley Junior High School. So there you go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look here at St. Ephrem. This is a beautiful church. We'll look at some of the Christmas trees they have that are dedicated to people. Get that nice statue of Christ up there. And you got these Christmas trees. It smells like Christmas tree. Turn around and give you guys a look at the church, see how big the church is. We've walked by it a few times in the past. It's a big church. But this right here, everybody calls Dentist Row. There's all dentists and doctors over here. Pretty much every one of these properties has a dentist in it. Looks like that's a doctor's office right here to my left. And then over here is another dentist. So you got that nice little wreath in the window there. That's the dentist office. And then you have a pediatric. It's been like that for a long time. Alright, so we're gonna, I've made the decision. We are going to end the walk on 86th Street. We are just hitting 77th. And this is where the highway kind of cuts in down. So 278 comes down from north to south. It's going to the Verrazano Bridge, so it kind of cuts into Brooklyn this way. So technically, when we kind of do this little half turn to the left on the next block, we're walking due west. Basically, 278 heading in this direction to the Verrazano Bridge is the gateway to the west. So we're on the side that we don't have to think too much about crossing, but as you can see, it is this spot over here could be very dangerous if you don't know which light you're supposed to be looking at when you cross. There's crosswalks everywhere. You see, this is an exit point. Now, right now, for a little while, we're actually on 7th Avenue. It's kind of weird down here, the way everything happens. So we eventually have to make our way back down to Fort Hamilton Parkway. You see a long line of traffic coming off of 278 right now. That never is a good sign when you see that many vehicles coming off. Usually means there's some traffic issues. All right, now we're gonna make our way back onto Fort Hamilton Parkway. So you can see how confusing it gets. Like if you're walking Fort Hamilton Parkway and you don't know your way down here, you just keep walking straight and realize that this is now 7th Avenue. And Fort Hamilton Parkway is over there. Very easy, even a person that's living in this area, very easy to get confused. We are crossing over the highway. You can see there's that line of cars. If you look down there, you can see It looks like that the traffic issue is not the highway, but it's the exit ramp. So all those cars are just jammed out trying to get off the highway. We are now back onto Fort Hamilton Parkway, but once again, if you look, you have 6th Avenue over here that ends over here. This is where 6th Avenue ends, right here to my right. So I'm talking about right there, 6th Avenue. We got a couple more blocks to go and we are finished here for this walk. I want to thank everybody for coming along. Nice exercise this morning on a Tuesday morning in December as I'm recording this. Right there is the 84th Street overpass into Dyker Heights. The next block is Dyker Place. We are now officially back on Fort Hamilton Parkway. I say officially because that's where you see the first sign again. We're going to be ending it on 86th Street, right over there by that bus stop. There's a bunch of people waiting for the bus. This spot over here, this area is a whole bunch of apartment buildings. 85th Street right here. To my left is a dead-end street. Give you guys a look. And this is it. This is where we're going to end it. Thanks for tagging along. I will be continuing to post the Christmas homes. Eventually we'll do like one big walk through the neighborhood, which is not too far from here. This is right after this. I just go home to my left here. '86th Street. Looks like everyone's waiting for a bus that hasn't arrived for a while. You could always see the faces, people's faces, when it looks like they've been waiting a long time. You start to see them scattering and looking for the bus, getting on the phone. There's just a lot of people on this bus stop, so this bus is probably very late. Anyway, thanks for tagging along, everyone. Take care, and bye-bye.